If you are a snowbird, you like to spend the winter in typically a warmer climate, what Medicare insurance is the best? That's easy. It's a Medicare supplement plan. Because with Medicare supplement plans, you can go to any doctor, any hospital in the country. They welcome you. They want you coming through that door. They get paid more money than if you had a Medicare Advantage plan. They get paid faster. There is a lot less red tape, bureaucracy on their end. So they love you with the Medicare supplement plan. Now, Medicare supplement plans are more expensive, and you might not be able to comfortably afford a Medicare supplement plan. I like for people to start Medicare when they first retire at any age, to start with the Medicare supplement plan. We have several options to get a plan that you can afford. And most people can afford it at 65, 67, 68 because they've made it a little bit artificially low, a little attractive there to get you in. So you can probably afford a Medicare supplement when you first start Medicare. But then it goes up. It goes up every year, whether you use it or not. And most plans are going up double digits. Some are going up quite a lot, really pushing the limit there. What do I mean? I mean over 20%. Some over 30%. Yeah. So how many years can you keep it with those type of rate increases? Well, I don't know your budget. But if you are a snowbird, you want to keep it as long as you can because of the ease of going back to your home state and going to your warm state for the winter. I've actually had a client that reversed snowbirded, and they go to Minnesota. They live in a hot state and they reverse. They go to the colder states, to get away from the heat. So I should say a snowbird, whichever way you're flying. You know what I'm talking about. You're living in two different states, two different sets of doctors, specialists. State rules can be very different from state to state. So a Medicare supplement gets around all of that. Now, you might not be able to afford a Medicare supplement. And that's the boat a lot of people are in, or they will eventually be in. And then we're going to Medicare Advantage. Now there's different types of Medicare Advantage plans. The most common plan being an HMO, second most common plan being a PPO. And with an HMO plan, again, it's hard to talk about all plans in general because companies are different. Some of the largest national companies have nationwide networks. So you won't see that with a small regional company with the little guys. If you don't, it's like, what's big, what's small? If you don't see their ads all over the TV, they're small. If they're not filling up your mailbox with postcards in the fall of each year, they're small. The big guys are all doing that. So you know who the big guys are. So the big guys tend to give you a little bit more flexibility with that. But it's different based on your plan. So you have to go to your plan and say, if I buy this plan and I'm a snowbird, what does that look like? Now the government has you covered in an emergency. The government requires all Medicare Advantage plans, doesn't matter what type you have, and there's all different types of plans. There's cost plans, there's fee-for-service plans, there's all different kinds of plans. You probably only heard of PPOs and HMOs, but there's other ones out there. All of those plans have to cover you at an in-network cost in the event of an emergency. So anywhere in the United States, and some of these big plans will cover you out of the United States in an emergency. It's more rare, but the big guys do that. So if I'm traveling anywhere in the country, I go to visit my daughter in South Carolina, and I have you knock on wood, my mom would say it's bad luck to say that, but let's say I have a heart attack, and I go to the ER, that's as if I was at home in network in Indiana. Good, okay, that gives me some financial peace of mind. But then you gotta go past my heart attack. So they had a heart attack, they stabilized me, and they scheduled me for 4 stints the next day. Now that's an inpatient surgery, in many cases on Medicare Advantage, out of network, meaning I'll pay higher or I pay for all of it, depending on the type of plan you have. And that's the big I gotcha. So I've worked with tens of thousands of retirees, and they universally tell me they're healthy, they're gonna stay healthy. And I like that optimism. But we all know that we don't all stay healthy, that right around the corner is some illness or injury. My mom had the weirdest one. She went to Florida, she broke a glass on the tile, because I always have tile there because of the sand, and she got a piece of the glass embedded in her foot, and it got infected. And of course, she didn't go to the doctor for quite a while because she didn't need to. So then when she finally goes to the ER and they're like, yeah, we'll get it out, but now you got an infection and now we got to refer. Nobody plans for that. One of my close family members went down to Florida and got the flu, and it basically settled in a major organ. I know people hate it when they say settled, but that's how I grew up. Settled in a major organ, and they said she was going to die because of it, which was going to be really expensive. This whole process, being in ICU and all this on a Medicare Advantage plan. And as the insurance agent, one, I was worried about their health. Two, I was worried about the financial repercussions here, because nobody expects to get sick, especially not on vacation, especially not when it's sunny and beautiful. So you have to think, when you're biting your insurance, you have to think worst case scenario, not best case scenario. So if you're a snowbird, you want a Medicare supplement plan. Trust me, you'll thank me later. Now, that's easy to say when you're young, when you're 65, 66, 67, 68. That's a young retiree, right? Then you start to get into your 70s. And like I said, double-digit rate increases year after year after year. Now, a double digit might mean a 10%. Again, it might mean a 30%. It depends on what company, what state you're in, what's happening. But it adds up to the point where you're like, I love it. It's great. No red tape. You were right. Any doctor, any hospital, that was smooth. I loved it, but I can't afford it anymore. That's kind of the trajectory of how retirement's going to look for most Americans. Like I tell everybody, we're all going to end up in Medicare Advantage. We're going to end up over here. We're going to stay over here on the Medicare supplement side, ideally, as long as we can comfortably afford it. That's based on everybody's individual budget. So eventually, when you're over here on the Medicare Advantage side, then travel is going to get more expensive. There's other types of insurance you can buy if you're out of your home network. We can talk to you about hospital indemnity plans, cancer, heart attack, and stroke plans, other types of insurance. So if you're out of your network because you're a snowbird and you can't afford a Medicare supplement, you're not just hanging out there with the possibility of a huge bill completely out of pocket, separate from your insurance. So if you learned something, or if I confused you at all, ask me in the comments and I'll clarify it, because this is confusing. But the basic message is simple. If you're a snowbird, buy a Medicare supplement, Plan G. That's my basic message. If you can't afford it, you're going to buy Medicare Advantage, and you're going to buy some other types of insurance to supplement it, because as a snowbird, you might be out of network with higher costs, or you might be 100% on your own if you have a plan that doesn't have out-of-network coverage. If you learned something, please thank me. How we think on social media is by giving me a follow or a like or a subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Follow me, because next week, the next video, I'm right back teaching you more about the wonderful world of Medicare. If you like this video, you might really like this video. Check it out. And we'd appreciate if you subscribe to our channel so you never miss a great video. We put out one every week. Check in the description below this video for a link to our cheat sheet on Social Security and Medicare. And you can also give us a comment if you have a specific question. Always feel free to call us or email us at the Medicare Family.